Welcome back to the Carl the Crusher channel. I'm actually really close to the edge of the Grand Canyon, just north of Kanab, Utah, and I'm at a really interesting spot called the Sand Caves. And after this, I'm gonna go explore a whole bunch of amazing locations because this entire region from the Grand Canyon all the way over to Nevada, to Area 51, all the way up to Skinwalker Ranch and Blind Frog Ranch up in Vernal, Utah, is full of tons of ancient Aztec treasures, mysteries, weird kinds of lost mysteries and strange stuff, UFO sightings, paranormal things, and this is going to be the beginning of something that might turn into an entire series on this channel. So make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications because it all starts right now. The Sand Caves. A friend of mine tipped me off to this location. I'd never heard of it before. I've heard of the Cliff Dwellers. I've heard of Horseshoe Bend. There's Chaco Canyon. There's all kinds of Aztec and Anasazi and Pueblo and Hopi Indian. So many different ancient Native American people and ancient people that dwelled in this area. And so there's lots of petroglyphs, carvings, caves, ancient dwelling sites, and all sorts of cool stuff. And the real mystery kicks in when you start to wonder, why does the government get involved? Why does NASA step in this area, like over in Chaco Canyon, and rope off a bunch of areas? Why does a lot of this stuff has to do with astronomical alignments in the stars? And the legends all talk about things coming down from the sky, and it seems like some sort of ancient alien myth. It's really mysterious and really strange. A lot of people don't know is that the water levels and the ocean levels in this entire region used to be like 400 feet higher throughout the state of Nevada, all the way up through up into the Great Salt Lake area. So imagine off of the Gulf of California if the ocean was actually like giant fjords and inlets and marshlands, and in the ancient times there was waterways that came all the way up the Grand Canyon and all the way up into the Uinta Basin and the Great Salt Lake up north. And people in ancient times, like the Phoenicians, the Aztecs, maybe even the Romans, could have traveled using boats and going up these waterways in order to access these areas. And so there's evidence, carvings, remnants, buried treasure, all sorts of really cool myths and legends all over the area. And it's gonna start right here with these giant sand caves. I've never been here before. Let's go check them out. Whoa, I didn't expect this. This is crazy. There's like a whole series of giant caves that go back in here, and it seems like they wrap all the way around this entire mesa. I think there's only one thing to do, and that's we've got to go inside. Oh man. I was not expecting giant caves this size. This is crazy. There are all kinds of carvings. A lot of them look like graffiti, like modern stuff, but I'm definitely gonna keep my eyes peeled for any actual petroglyphs. And we're gonna go inside these caves. There's a whole network of them. There's all kinds of crazy paranormal stuff that goes on around these locations if you look into it, especially Marble Canyon over at the Grand Canyon. That stuff is really interesting. Way down there is the Ford Raptor where I parked it, and then it's just a short hike up here. It's not that far off of the main road. You can see cars driving by right down there. And I'm pretty sure that I saw carving or petroglyph on the rock face up there that we'll check out on the way out. But I'm right at this first big cave entrance, and it is really carved up with all sorts of stuff. You can see where some of the sandstone has fallen off and actually caved in, but you've got all kinds of different carvings, and people have done graffiti, which is unfortunate, but I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled as we go back in here and see if we can find anything else, anything that looks more ancient, like petroglyphs or any kind of carvings, because it seems like some of those things are clues to what might be going on. They all depicted the same stuff, and it doesn't seem to matter whether you look in Africa or over in Europe, all over the world, even in Siberia, right here at the Grand Canyon, all over the Southwest, you get the exact same types of carvings. Even they seem similar to some of the shamanic type carvings and symbolism in Norway that I've seen on my trip around Norway. This idea of beings that come from the sky, these gods that come from the sky that have these horns or antenna, or like these star people that have these special powers or interdimensional. And it seems like there was a time in the past where all of this was a lot more potent or going on in the world, or there was a unified culture around the globe that's been lost to us. I'm gonna put some links to some channels down in the description box below. If you guys are into this stuff, there's some other researchers that I've learned a lot from by going over to their YouTube channels, over to their TikToks and everything like that. And so if you wanna check them out, I wanna give these guys all credit so you can look into it. Oh, okay. I did not realize that this cave actually wrapped all the way around. There's all kinds of just little like drill holes, chip marks, all sorts of carvings. This cave is awesome. The weather's perfect. It totally is just like sand everywhere. Oh, these are some interesting carvings over here. If it was like 3000 BC, I would totally live here. You have like trees and wildlife, probably fresh water in the stream down there. And then you could come up here and chill in the warm cave, have a campfire. I mean, it's beautiful. I've been in hotels that are not decorated this nice with the decor, if you know what I mean. It's actually really cool. Look how smooth the ceiling is in here. Okay, this is really cool. You notice how the end of the cave in here is all dark and it looks oxidized. Probably a long time ago, having campfires right here and gathering around it, and then the soot from the campfire going up and kind of charring up above there. I'm currently working on getting access to places that are full of paranormal stuff, UFOs, Bigfoot, different buried treasure, mysterious caves and ancient mysteries and things like that. And I am getting access to a lot of those places and going to be investigating them all and bringing you guys along with me. Wow, this is so cool that you can see. Yeah. Sit back in here and kind of meditate for a minute and see if anything happens. When I sat down in the cave to meditate, I began to get this feeling like it was very ancestral, very ancient. And then in my subconscious, I began to visualize there was like a bonfire in front of me and these ravens flying around behind me and in the sky. And this is common when I meditate at home. I have ravens that will actually come and sit in the backyard and watch me meditate. And that's when this happened. Ravens are one of my spirit animals. I even have one tattooed on my forearm. So this was really special to have one arrive at the entrance of the cave like this. A lot of times when I meditate, there's a raven that shows up and does that. That's really cool that it happened here in the cave. Yeah, even when I meditate at home in my own backyard, there's always like 2 ravens that come and land and they'll squawk like that and watch me meditate. And I did not expect that while meditating in the sand cave here. There was a raven that flew right past the entrance, I suppose, and was squawking, which is really cool. It's always when I'm feeling like an ancestral presence, some kind of an ancient feeling. I was meditating and had the feeling like there was like an ancient bonfire right here. And then let me show you the view. It's really cool. So let's say you're sitting right here around the bonfire with your family or friends or whatever, your little tribe, and you decide as a shaman that you're going to stand here, sit here and meditate. It's almost like a portal. Look at this. It's like a tunnel, a portal going all the way outside from where you're sitting here. And through the entrance out there is where the raven flew by, right by the opening. So a lot of really cool, powerful energy right here in this spot inside this ancient cave. It's definitely interesting. If you're ever in this area, I highly recommend that you come and check out the sand caves just north of Kanab. In fact, I love Kanab, Utah. I could see myself retiring there someday and looking for buried treasure. Whoa, what the heck is that? Looks like a horse's hitching post or something. Look at this place. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful up here. Wow. I didn't expect there to be a pit in the ground like this with the boards all removed. That's absolutely treacherously dangerous. I mean, if you took one wrong step, you're gonna go all the way to the bottom. Look at this thing. Oh, my word. I'm gonna stay back from this because I don't know if this is gonna slough off or fall in there. You don't know if the cribbing down the side is weak. I'm gonna extend the camera over the hole and try to look down in there like a selfie stick, and we'll see. I cannot see the bottom, you guys. I really wonder if some of the ancient myths about the hollow earth are actually more like a honeycomb earth, where you've got these lava tubes and sandstone tunnels that could go clear down into the earth, or when the water level dropped, ancient aquifers and waterways and channels under the ground that are now open and could be full of all kinds of weird stuff. This area is just like entrance. It goes all the way back here, and like that comes around this giant pillar. You have to imagine if these sandstone caves are like this above ground, there could be a honeycomb network of caves under the ground that has been sort of covered over too. I mean, who am I to say? It's not like I work for the government. I'm trying to like hide our ancient past from us. Let's head over here along the ridgeline. I think my intuition was telling me that there was something over there, and maybe since it's farther away from the actual cave system, it's not vandalism, it might be something authentic. Let's go check it out. Am I crazy? It looks like there's a water line there. Not to mention up in Vernal, Utah, where there's a bunch of dinosaur fossils, you find sea turtles fossilized and petrified up in the mountains in Vernal, Utah, in the Uinta Basin. How did sea turtles get up there if the ocean in prehistoric times wasn't connected? The waterways were a lot different back when man was still living here. Oh wait, is that it? That's strange. I don't know if it's just more worn off or what. Oh wait, yeah, look at that. There's writing, some kind of a carving. I cannot tell. Tell me if you can see what that is. I don't know. It looks like there's a word. Oh, some kind of, this whole thing might be like a big mural across the face, but that looks like English letters up there to me. So this looks like it's probably modern. Okay, here's our little cave exploring camera. I've got it rigged up with this kind of a slow descent system. Hopefully it's balanced. Slip the string up through. Oh, there we go. Okay. Still getting some spin going on. It looks like the shaft actually isn't as big as I thought. So I'm just gonna leave the light right there and leave that camera going instead of dropping it down in further, and show you guys what I'm talking about here. You can see with the flashlight down in there now what we're talking about. It's just like a pile of lumber. It looks like the boards covering the top here have just been lifted and dropped down in. One thing's for sure, if you fell down in there, you're not climbing out anytime soon. That's pretty sketchy, so if you come up here, make sure and be careful. There's mysterious places like this all over for hundreds of miles all over this region in any different direction. Make sure and subscribe, guys, and turn on notifications, because I'm headed to a giant cave next called the Belly of the Dragon, as well as checking out a whole bunch of ancient petroglyphs that are around this region and trying to tie it all together. So make sure and stay tuned and check out all the other videos that you see on screen, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.